The top 5 with Chris Toplack.
The Macho Man Randy Savage would have turned 66 on Thursday, but sadly he passed away back in 2011 at age 58 due to a heart attack. He was undoubtedly one of the greatest superstars in the history of professional wrestling, and to me, not only one of my top favorites, but a hero. In fact, I actually have a photo of him on top of my bookshelf. In a community full of larger-than-life personalities and characters, he stood out amongst them all. He was brighter, more colorful, and so full of charisma. He taught me that being unique was not only acceptable, but it was cool. So in honor of the Macho Man, I'm providing you with a list of my top 5 favorite Randy Savage matches of all time. Honorable mention going out to Savage vs. Flair at WrestleMania 8. At number 5, Savage vs. DDP at Halloween Havoc, October the 26th, 1997. The match was chaotic, violent, and incredibly entertaining. It was a Las Vegas death match. At number 4, Savage vs. Hulk Hogan. Arguably one of the greatest feuds in the history of professional wrestling. It took a year to get to this point, and it was completely worth it, despite the fact that Hogan won. I was always rooting for Savage. Yes, I know, I probably was very young at the time, but years later, going back to watch that match, I was still rooting for Savage, even when I was a kid. It's also known for being arguably Hogan's best quality match of all time, at least in my opinion. At number 3, Savage vs. Bret Hart, a lesser-known match from Saturday night's main event back in 1987. This was a breakthrough moment for Bret Hart as a singles competitor, and much of that should be credited to Randy Savage. At number 2, Savage vs. The Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 7. Far and away the greatest match of the Ultimate Warrior's career. Despite multiple elbow drops, the Ultimate Warrior still got his arm raised, and Randy Savage was forced to retire. Now afterwards, Sensational Sherry ripped into Savage. She was not happy. This prompted a returning Miss Elizabeth to make the run-in and a save. It's one of the most emotional reunions in the history of pro wrestling. And at number 1, no surprise here, Savage vs. Steamboat at WrestleMania 3. It was a masterclass of storytelling that was meticulously scripted, move by move, second by second, by Savage. This drove Ricky crazy, but years later he reflected on this, saying, hundreds of matches, thousands of matches, this match, because they still remember it. Yes, the main event was Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. Notable for Hogan not only winning the match, but body slamming Andre. But that's still, after all these years, not what is discussed when it comes to WrestleMania 3. It's this match. It was a fast-paced match full of many near falls that stole the show and has been remembered as one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history. For more exclusive content not on my podcast, such as this top 5 list, follow me on social media.